Cities 92.9, the news and talk of Bloomington Normal. And folks, on the line with me is Sally Turner, and we are going to go through a bill that's been introduced to increase really McLean County property taxes and the surrounding area in McLean County. So I wanted to have Sally Turner on to talk with me about it. I had read your comments in the WGLT article, yours and Tom Bennett's. I think you both voted against this passage. It started out in the Senate, and it's a bill introduced by Dave Koehler. Now, Dave Koehler, he's a senator, Democrat, and it's the SB 2447 bill. Now, this is going to increase property taxes to the majority of McLean County property owners, and it's designed to provide the Bloomington Normal Airport Authority with a greater expanded tax base. Because right now, all we've got here is for this tax base for the Bloomington Normal Airport is the people in Bloomington Normal. Now, McLean County is much bigger than Bloomington Normal. So, Sally, why oppose the bill generally?
Sure. Well, thanks, Kat. Well, the biggest reason is because of the fact that both Tom and I have felt that it should have went to referenda so that folks could know why the airport would be implementing a tax and what they're going to do with it. I mean, that was the biggest thing. So if you're going to raise taxes, we believe that people need to know what are those taxes that you're going to be raised, how much will it be raised, and what's the purpose of it.
Mm-hmm. I talked with Dave Koehler about this. He was in Bloomington Normal. It was at Heartland Community College, and I approached him about it. And, he said that he modeled this after Peoria County many years ago. And, actually, we were on the phone yesterday, and we were talking about how this is actually going to benefit maybe people within his constituency. So who's paying more money exactly when this tax base, I don't think it's really a question of if, just when this tax base is expanded to McLean County folks.
Yeah, so what it looks like, Kat, is that those folks that are in Bloomington Normal, of course, are already paying that tax for the airport authority. So since it will go in and then take in the rest of McLean County, those folks in the rural areas or the unincorporated areas of McLean County haven't seen this tax before. So they would now have that tax burden on their tax bill. And then by doing so, that's increased assessed value. So EAV goes up. And so the tax rate will go down for those that are in the city of Bloomington and Normal. So it helps those folks that are in the city, but it adds a new tax to those that are in the rural areas of McLean County.
I see. Now, I wanted to ask you too. So, why would Dave Koehler not want to bring it to referendum, where you actually ask the property tax owners, "Hey, do you want this tax base to be expanded?" Why would he not do that?
Well, I don't think. I guess in Dave's defense, I don't think that was the same exact thing that was done in Peoria. So I think he's replicating what he did in Peoria years ago. And so I don't know about going to referenda. So I will say that. The wording in the bill basically just says to bring in this extra area. So it doesn't have anything in it about referenda. So I guess from what I understand that he brought this bill on behalf of the airport authority. And by bringing it, I guess it would have been my suggestion, and it has been mine and Tom's as well. And I suspect maybe Koehler's at one point in time too, is to ask the airport that perhaps that they bring it to referenda instead and ask for that to be done. Now, I don't know what the tax rate and levy manual says for an airport authority. Right off the top of my head, there's like a million tax rates and levies out there. I don't know if that, I do know, I guess I should say that it is necessary for if you're a PTEL county. And McLean County is not a PTEL county. They voted that down. So if they would have been, then it would have had to have gone to referenda in order to get it done. So there's a
So explain that to me real quick, Sal. A PTA county?
Oh, PTEL, property tax limitation law. So that's the one where you only can go the CPI every year, Consumer Price Index. Mm-hmm. So I'll compare it to Logan County, we are a PTEL county, so our counties can only go whatever the CPI is every year, and that's all they can ask for extra. And other counties that aren't under that can go 105 and have a hearing 105% more than what they did the year before, and ask for additional money.
I see. Now, I think Dave Koehler, he didn't, when I talked to him about it, he didn't really propose anything kind of where Sierra needed this money or they expressed a need. They're going to get more money if the tax base is expanded, correct?
Yeah, well, they would. I believe from the only letter that I had referencing anything specific was from the McLean County Farm Bureau, and of course they're opposed to it because the farm taxes has gone up like 67% in the last 10 years, and that's quite a bit for farm tax. So, but they were estimating with this new increase, the airport would get about $650,000 additional a year. So that's what the calculation that they had brought up, and I'm sure it's pretty accurate.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not. What I guess Tom Bennett and I wanted to know in more detail was, what are your plans, airport, if you're going to do this new tax for more of our area? What is it? How is it? I guess I should say, how is it that we would benefit from it? All of us. Will it benefit because the airport's going to expand and bring in new economic development in our area? Therefore, our schools in the rural area will grow, and the EAV will increase, and then we will pay less in taxes because of it. So it's just a lot of questions that we all have, and we just would like to know more if this takes effect.
Right. Now, one more thing I wanted to ask about this bill, and then there's another bill that I wanted to see if that was on your radar. This bill, do you think that people, I mean, I guess they could have engaged with the public, this airport authority, and under the Airport Authorities Act, it says that you have to bring it to referendum and things like that. Do you think that people in rural McLean County, not Bloomington Normal, the two, the twin cities, the people outside, do you think that those people are utilizing this airport as much as the people in Bloomington Normal? Because I feel like people are feeling as if they got shafted, right? Where they're like, what the heck? I didn't even know there was a Bloomington Normal Airport, and now I'm getting to have to pay for it more.
Yeah, as you and I spoke yesterday a little bit, I mean, I assume that State Farm and Country Company folks and even other people that are involved in that kind of business maybe use that airport quite often. But I do know that people in the surrounding areas use that airport a lot, such as Lincoln. I've used that airport, and it's a great airport. I don't think that anybody thinks that it's not. I mean, it's a small airport, it has easy access. But the whole thing is that what were the different avenues that were thought about as to increase funds that they need, a user fee perhaps, or were those things examined? And what are we getting at? What do they need it for? What are all going to be all these things that because if they do expand the airport and maybe the runway, what are the good things that will come because of it? And folks just want to know those things. So if it's beneficial, then maybe somehow our taxes can come down later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I wanted to switch gears here a little bit more because we're talking about this specific tax increase where it's increasing the taxes of people in McLean County. And it might actually benefit a little bit people in Bloomington, Dave Koehler's
Mm-hmm.
district, because it kind of alleviates the burden of all of the taxes being on Bloomington Normal. It kind of alleviates them and it spreads it out a little bit, right? But here's another bill that we've got Dave Koehler sponsoring. And I don't know if you've heard of it because it probably includes a little bit of your district. And just for listeners' sake, can you tell us where your district where your district falls, Sally?
Well, that's interesting. So, it comes all the way around. It comes up to Bloomington, up to about all the way the side on the far east side of the runway. The south end, it comes about to where the Bloomington Fire is on the southeast end, and wraps around Crestwick and things like that, and it goes all the way up, all the way around McLean, and we have a little bit of Normal Community School District. And so I would assume it's just a tiny bit of the city there of Normal as well, and just a decent amount of the city of Bloomington as well. So I think I have a little bit more of the city of Bloomington in population than I do in all of rural McLean.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, the city of Bloomington. So I'd imagine this is going to affect your district, this new bill that I want to get to. So his name is Robert Callis, and I talked with him extensively, and he's kind of done a lot of homework, and he's a resident in the Bloomington District 87 school district. Now, is District 87 in your lines?
Yeah.
Okay, so this resident is really concerned about this bill and the Pantograph Plus did this article, they ran this article where it says Bloomington District 87 wants to expand its pre-K and career and technical education offerings. So they're looking to get Dave Koehler to get this bill passed, and I haven't checked out the bill as of lately, but he's sponsoring this bill that would exempt the district from having to pass a referendum for approval from the public before purchasing this. I think they're eyeing up this $6 million building. It's this old building on Oakland Avenue. I think it's an old State Farm building. So your thoughts on, have you seen this bill and this building that District 87 is eyeing up? The Pantograph report that Koehler said District 87 asked that they have a waiver so that way they don't have to bring this to referendum on purchasing the building.
I don't recall that. Do you know what the status is? Did it come out of assignments? Did it go to a committee?
I know that I don't know if it's out of committee yet. I have no idea, honestly, the status.
So if it didn't go to committee, it's not coming out. So that was done on Friday.
Okay.
Last Friday. So I don't recall that one specifically. It's not ringing a bell that it's been put in front of our faces, but so it would be referenda to not have a referendum in order for them to purchase a building. Is that right?
Yeah, and what they want to do is they want to put pre-K and technical and career education offerings in that building. And right now, as it stands, you have to bring that sort of stuff to referendum if you want to purchase or build out a new building in the district, obviously, because it's going to cost the taxpayers quite a bit of money, not just to purchase, but also...
That's really interesting because I'm on early childhood education, and we just had a subject matter hearing last week one day, and I don't remember what day exactly it was, but one of the things that was brought out was that they wanted to make sure that all this new funding that the governor had for early childhood education was not going to go directly to schools to enhance their early childhood programs, that a portion of it also will go to daycares, homes that people are doing childhood educations in their homes and things of that nature. So that actually is really interesting.
I pulled up the status while we were chatting here, Sally. It's Bill SB 2323. It's Sharon Chung and Dave Koehler. And what it does, it amends the school board's article of the school code. The provisions concerning buildings for school purposes provides that for Bloomington School District 87, no referendum shall be required for the purchase, construction, or building of any building for school, blah, blah, blah. So the last action, from what I understand, it was 3/30, so March 30th, and it was referred to the Rules Committee?
Oh, well, that's where bills go to die.
Okay, that's where bills go to die. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Alrighty.
Yeah, so...
Well, that's some good news, because I think that was where a lot of people were upset about this bill, because that's obviously going to cost us a lot of money. That's a $6 million building that they're looking to purchase, and you take that out of whoever owns that building right now, they pay property taxes on that. You take that revenue out, and District 87 is looking at a big hole in it of itself, like a budget deficit this year. So yeah, we had some concern in the community. So that's kind of good news. It's in rules committee. That's where bills go to die.
Yeah, generally that's exactly what happens. So if it hasn't come out from a committee to be heard, and it's just sitting in rules, it's probably not going to come out at all.
Mm. Very, very
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. I mean, there's always a chance, unfortunately, that these shell bills that all the leaders have hundreds of shell bills, and they can throw something into the shell bill by doing an amendment and tossing this language that they want to see about an issue onto another bill.
Mm.
So that's always something that, and usually that's done in the last minute and pushed through. So those are things we need to continue to watch, though.
Mm. Awesome. Well, Sally Turner, I think that's all I had for you here in this district. That one bill, which I think has changed the name. It started out as SB like 2447, something with
Yep.
the Sierra 2447, the Sierra airport and expanding that tax base. Then I was worried about this bill because, Illinois, the highest one of the highest
I
property
know.
taxes in the nation. So,
Yeah, I think that airport bill is now 684. I think.
okay. Yeah. Well, that's got to get past the House now, right?
Correct. And I encourage anyone to now when you see that a Senate bill has passed and goes to the House, I encourage them to call their House of Representative members and tell them they'd appreciate them voting no on this and this is why. That's really important that you let them know by email or giving them a call.
Yeah. So folks, call Dave Koehler and ask him, hey, I don't support this bill. I live in rural McLean County, and I don't think that Sierra hasn't really made an effort to gauge the public and to get this money from us. This additional, what was it? You said 6,000?
Yeah, 600,000. But
600,000.
I would, since that's come out of the Senate, I would encourage them to call their House members because
So
that's
that's
where it's going to
Sharon.
come out. Yes.
Okay, so call Sharon Chung, who's also in that district.
Yeah,
So
and just let them know the way they feel about it, or what they want to see from it, or if they want an amendment or anything to that nature. That's they can make those changes in the House.
yeah. All right. Well, Sally, thanks so much for calling in. And is there anything else that we should be on the lookout for and anything else for the good of the order?
Hmm. There's probably so many things to think about right now when you have 7,000 bills that come and go. So I think we voted on like 300 of them last week. So
Ugh.
off the top of my head, I don't remember, but they sure come pretty fast. So if
Just
there's
for
something,
just for funsies, did you get to vote on that declawing cats bill?
no, we haven't seen it yet, but it's going to come over. I'm
Yeah,
like,
so
okay.
can you explain that a little bit for our listeners, just real quick? It's a funny story, folks. I think it's just, an example of legislators where you have to, why? Oh, why are you spending so much time on
Oh,
legislating? Just stop making
well,
bills, folks.
I know. Cat, I will say this. I don't know that much about the cat claw one yet because I haven't seen it in its form after it came over. But I will tell you this one. There was one in my state government committee, I think it was. I think it was state gov. Anyway, it was that humans can't have any interaction with primates at a zoo or anywhere. Like, so you can't like let a monkey get on your back or hang out or whatever with a monkey,
Uh-huh.
and you can't do that with bears either. So it was monkeys and bears. I'm like, where in the world did that come from? I,
What?
our state's a mess, and we're talking about monkeys and bears.
Monkeys and
So
bears. So what's on the
yeah,
docket in Springfield? Well, today,
yeah,
folks, we're going to be talking about monkeys and bears and how you probably don't want to crawl into the cages with them, and we're going to outlaw
yeah.
that. I mean,
It
it's
was
just like
that.
wacky things people do, and then state legislators, not you, right? Where they come up and they dream of ways to ban things that just aren't the norm. Like,
Yeah,
obviously, this was an egg. Maybe I don't know where it originated from,
I,
but
I I will say it came from a person that was a docent at a zoo, and so they saw, I guess, germs being transferred from person to primates, And then the other thing was that bears can be dangerous. Well, hello, sure they can.
Things that you wouldn't think are happening in Springfield, but they are. Sally Turner, thanks so much for joining me here on Cities 92.9, and you have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, Kat. You too.
Bye bye.